Shalom, my name is Yoshua Yaakov. I'm a didactic scientist and I'm making this video from Jerusalem. It's a comment on Michelle Obama on The View. Basically, there was a kind of a slip about this wonderful man, pathetic, etc. And everybody laughed, and of course it was a bit of a gaffe, and it was supposed to be empathetic. Well, the question, and I think importantly, is where did this come from? Who said this? And I think that everybody's looking for, the Achilles heel for downsides, but the most important insight, I think, is going to come from Michelle Obama herself. So, Michelle, I'm suggesting that you take the mirror. And this is a gigantic challenge, and it's this: we are all angry children, the children of angry children, destined to bring angry children. And we've just experienced, beginning 18 years ago, the collapse of the local reality globally. I know that sounds pretty confusing, but it means the end of man and mankind's exile. And when that is the case, which it is now, we, you, I, every one of us has to undertake to deconstruct the collapsed local reality of ground zero on 4 levels: the individual, the family, the community, and the nation. Technically, psycholinguistic, cognitive, behavioral, and psychosocial level. Why? Because the collapse of the local reality applies to both East-West systems. The communism has collapsed both in the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. In America, capitalism and democracy is imploding with 9/11. The meta-narrative is the subject of another video of that event, but so be it. It's in the way. And now on the that's the psychosocial level, the East-West system. On the behavioral level, this refers to the three major monotheistic religions, but the most important two are Islam and Christianity. They are as well imploding. On the cognitive level, this refers to the economies, and the 2 major economies of the world, Japan and America, are also imploding. Why? Under the cost of $150 a barrel oil. And lastly, that's the cognitive. On the psycholinguistic level, this refers to the individual, and to every individual in the world. And here, what is collapsed is that's the local reality, is the old sociologic model, anthropologic, sociologic model of man, which was giving to receive. I give, I get. That is finished. That's collapsed globally, and that's the local reality that's collapsed for every individual. And but talking about it is not enough. We have to deconstruct the ground zero of the collapsed local reality, and then we have to deprogram the mind of exile, and then we have to restore our authentic identity, and most of all, and most importantly, heal. And this is the process of the ascent from being a behavioral mammal to a cognitive being, and this is redemption. That's the term for the religion, for the religious. However, for the secular, it's a different definition. For the secular, it's the end of the pre-modern era, and the ascent to the era of post-modernity. And in this context, the central organizing principle of Humanomics, which is the new East-West convergence model, I'm its author, it is receiving to give. Receiving what? Receiving the authentic you to give the authentic you to you, to your children, to your family, your community, and to all the world. And Humanomics has a second paradigm, which is the new economic paradigm, which is the integration of labor. That is the underlying new science and technology necessary for, we hope, President Obama, your husband, to mandate its national platform development with a mandate from the Congress to develop a world-class global technological infrastructure based upon the new economic paradigm that will retool, retrain, and re-educate the entire workforce of America. taking the gross domestic product from 14 trillion to 45 to 50 trillion, eliminating the national debt, eliminating the trade deficit, eliminating the social security deficit, and transforming the purchasing power of the dollar by twofold by the end of years 6 and 7, and threefold by the years of 12 through 14. This is a win-win situation. This is what we are committed to do. And now back to where I began. This slip that came out pathetic is the Kill Daddy program. In every woman, there is a Kill Daddy program. And we can deny it, and we can be delusional and think that it's just, oh, it's just a little slip. But indeed, this is the process of human ascent that I just articulated, that requires deconstruction of ground zero deprogramming, restoration and healing, and that process is identity resolution. And its central technology is the paradox delimita dichotomy access, which has a complexity beyond this video, but you are forewarned and advised to be very aware that this is the process of that you're about to undergo, and that human history is subject to. America and all the other nations as well. And in every man there is a kill mummy program. So we have to be aware of this, and this is the way. By not acting upon this, we cling to ground zero, and we deny the task of the ascent and the redemption of men and mankind. In this case, for the secular, it's the transformation of men and mankind. So Humanomics is the new East-West convergence model that transforms us from a behavioral mammal to a cognitive being, and the ascent to inhabit postmodernity requires the new cognitive behavioral science first principle, receive to give. That's the secular perspective. And for the religious, it's also receive to give. The only difference is, instead of it being postmodernity, it is the ascent from a behavioral mammal to a cognitive being in the context of redemption. So thank you for listening. I'm Yoshua Yaakov Ben Avraham, formerly Michael O'Donnell, an American citizen. I'm a didactic scientist. I'm the author of Humanomics, and also the author of the New Economic Paradigm and Integration of Labor, and the new cognitive behavioral science principle, receive to give. And so this is the challenge that you face, Michelle. This bit of a gaffe, what slipped out, is a caution and a warning to you of bigger things to come in the future, and a very great challenge for you and for your leadership of yourself, your girls, your family, your community, and we expect the women of the nation. Now, on this subject, I want to say really just one more thing, very sharply in focus. Women are people endowed. They have people skills. They're brilliant in terms of their capacity to discern and to perceive and to analyze and to judge accurately the behaviors of human beings. They have tremendous people skills, far greater than men. And so let me put the perspective on this. The women are going to lead significantly in the ascent of man and the redemption, both in secular and religious terms. So that's the purpose really of this video, to invite you to the complexity of the process, and in the collapse of the local reality globally. What I observed, it began 18 years ago, as I said, and I won't go through all of the sequences of the events that confirm it. I will simply say that the most important thing that has to be understood is, after the collapse of the local reality, empirically and logically, what I most frequently observed was really the resulting chaos. Out of this chaos came a daunting complexity, and that's why it's taken 18 years to sort out Humanomics, which is what replaces both East-West systems that have collapsed. They converge to the middle, and Humanomics is the new East-West convergence model. and its central organizing principle is receive to give, because it has to have both a secular and a traditional religious content, and then a new economic paradigm as well, and it has both. So you got a lot of learning ahead of you, but you're a very bright and, in fact, a remarkably intelligent woman. I wish you tremendous blessings, which is receiving to give, receiving the authentic you, Michelle, to give the authentic you to the girls, to Barak, to your family, your lodge, your community, your nation. And thank you for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov. I'm a didactic science, an American citizen, formerly Michael O'Donnell, now living in Jerusalem for the past 22 years. Anything I can do to help you, I'll be happy to. Thank you for listening.